Joe, an aspirant to become an Episcopal priest, faced an important challenge in this crisis management training: preparing the congregation for community outreach and diversity. Joe will use S.T.A.R.R. approach. S stands for scenario. T, the task needs Joe to do like thinking and planning what action to take to solve the scenario. A stands for action taken, the solution or action to try out. R stands for Joe's role in the problem solving, like as a pastor. And lastly, R stands for what resolution Joe has done. Did Joe resolve the problem? Let me begin with the scenario. The parish was considering a new community outreach program. While this initiative would increase visibility and expand the church's reach, it also meant welcoming people from vastly different backgrounds, which some members found unsettling. Resistance began to surface, with some parishioners fearing that the church's culture and traditions would change too much. Joe needed to guide the congregation through this transition in a way that addressed concerns while emphasizing the importance of outreach and inclusivity in the church's mission. T, task. Joe's task was to prepare the congregation for change by communicating the church's vision and mission to provide clarity and purpose, educating members on the spiritual and social value of outreach and diversity, creating a space for open discussion to address concerns, encouraging participation so that members felt involved in the change, handling resistance with patience and understanding rather than confrontation. A, action taken, articulating the vision and mission. Clearly, Joe led a special church gathering where he clearly explained how outreach aligned with the church's mission of serving others and spreading Christ's love. He emphasized that welcoming others does not mean losing identity, but rather expanding the church's impact. Educating the congregation on the value of diversity and outreach. During sermons and Bible study sessions, Joe shared scriptural teachings about inclusion, love, and hospitality, helping members see outreach as a biblical calling rather than a threat. Creating opportunities for open conversation and feedback. Joe hosted small group discussions where members could express their concerns openly. Instead of dismissing fears, he listened, acknowledged emotions, and provided thoughtful reassurances. Encouraging involvement and empowering congregants. Joe identified key leaders in the church who supported the initiative and involved them in planning. He invited parishioners to actively participate in the outreach, volunteering for activities, welcoming visitors, and helping shape the program. Addressing resistance with patience and understanding. Rather than forcing change, Joe approached resistance with empathy. He met individually with hesitant members, addressing their fears with real examples of how diversity had strengthened other congregations. Fostering a welcoming culture through small steps. Instead of overwhelming the church with immediate, large changes, Joe introduced small gestures of hospitality, such as creating a welcome team, using multilingual worship resources, and inviting community speakers to church events. Celebrating small wins and sharing success stories. Joe regularly highlighted positive experiences from the outreach efforts, testimonies from new visitors, relationships formed, and service projects completed, so the congregation could see the real impact of their involvement. Praying for guidance and unity as a community, Joe reminded the congregation that change is a spiritual journey. He led prayer sessions focused on unity, wisdom, and God's guidance, reinforcing that they were on this path together, our role in the solution. Joe took on the role of a visionary leader and bridge builder. He was not just an enforcer of change, but a patient guide who helped people understand, embrace, and actively participate in transformation. He demonstrated compassion, wisdom, and a deep commitment to the church's mission. Resolution. Over time, the congregation became more open to the outreach program. Resistance softened as people witnessed the positive impact firsthand. New friendships, growing faith, and a stronger sense of purpose. By leading with clarity, education, empathy, and gradual action, Joe helped his church navigate change with grace and unity. Lessons for Joe on leading change in outreach and diversity. Articulate the vision and mission clearly. Remind the congregation why outreach aligns with the church's core purpose. Educate the congregation on the value of diversity and outreach. Use scripture and real-life examples to show the blessings of inclusion. Create opportunities for open conversation and feedback. Allow members to express concerns and be part of the discussion. Encourage involvement and empower congregants. Let people be active participants rather than passive observers of change. Address resistance with patience and understanding. Change is hard. Meet resistance with empathy, not force. Foster a welcoming culture. Through small steps, start with simple, visible gestures of inclusion before making major changes. Celebrate small wins and share success stories. Show evidence of positive impact to build momentum and trust. Pray for guidance and unity as a community. Rely on God's wisdom to navigate challenges and build a stronger church. Joe now understands that leading a congregation through change requires vision, patience, and faith. By following these principles, he is growing into a wise and compassionate spiritual leader who can guide his church toward a future that honors both tradition and transformation. Good luck, Joe.